Verasity News. This is what investors need to know now. An altcoin that can distinguish real views from bots, that uses AI to fight ad fraud, and is currently being integrated by the UAE government. But why does hardly anyone know about it? What does this mean for you as an investor? Welcome to 10x by Marius, your channel for honest, data-driven altcoin analysis. Today we're looking at news about Verasity, a low to mid-cap altcoin that uses AI for video monetization, or rather, to combat fraud in this area. Why today? Quite simply, the 2025 roadmap shows strong partnerships, yet the project is still flying under the radar. Before we get started, as always, grab yourself a coffee, leave a like for me, and if you want to support me, become a 10x supporter on YouTube. You can find all the information in the video description, and thank you for your support. But a quick disclaimer, my channel is not financial advice, it's purely for informational purposes. Let's start by looking at the technology and development. On the roadmap, text-to-video tools with AI, dual token launch on Tron and Binance Chain, multilingual Vera player with automatic subtitles, NFT support via POV for digital copyright. So as we can see, it's important what they're introducing is really quite remarkable. But not many people see it this way. Verasity isn't just another AI autocoin, but one with a complete infrastructure, ad tracking, monetization, and protection. Next, what does the community's adoption look like? Verasity thrives not only on its technology, but also on its growing community. 500,000 active users, 300,000 of them with Vera wallets. Partnerships with Brightcove, Tencent Games, and Kraken Pro, and with Shopping.io, VRA can be used on Amazon and eBay. Then there are callouts on Reddit. There's a lot going on and the vibes are positive. There are real discussions happening here, and Verasity is regularly present at events, for example at WebEx 2025 in Tokyo. The conclusion at this point, Verasity is delivering not just tech, but ultimately real users and genuine adoption. Next, what about the token data and the price? Market cap is 13.78 million, so it's an extremely low cap, FDV 143 million. This shows that there are still quite a lot of tokens that could come onto the market. Volume is 664 million. That's an insane volume, because it's almost 50 times higher. What does that show? Of course, it shows strong short-term interest. My assessment: for me, Verasity is technically very well positioned here and is almost undervalued. If you want to trade Verasity, you can find it on my favorite exchange. You'll get a bonus if you sign up using my link. I've linked it below in the video description. Expand it. Now let's move on to my chart analysis. New. Here, I'll show you entry points as well as exit points, how I would approach it. Right, let's get to my chart analysis. A lot of people have asked, how do I actually find my entry points, or the points where I take profits or exit again? First of all, I'm not a trader, meaning I tend to look at things from a long-term perspective, but I do use an indicator here. This is TradingView to start with, using a specific indicator that I use, and it's essentially based mainly on money flow and whether it's in the overbought or oversold area, so to speak. And then I just look, if it's oversold, let's say, then I look for an entry point down here. For example, here it's shown quite well with a green dot, or here, and at the top, basically with a red dot. And that's basically how I go about finding rough entry points for myself. As I said, I don't really do chart analysis as such, because, as mentioned, I don't do much trading, but rather think long term. In any case, with Verasity you can already see that we were in a massively overbought area here. That's why the price also dropped sharply here, and if you take a look at the chart, for example here, we were again at a point where it was an oversold area. In other words, this would have been a good entry point. What does the situation currently look like for Verasity? As you can see, We're right in the middle range here. Not overbought, but not oversold either. That's why my position with Verasity at the moment would be more of a wait-and-see approach. As I said, that's just my personal opinion. That's how I analyze altcoins. As mentioned, I will definitely be including this in many analyses from now on. A chart analysis as of today. Today is the 12th of August, 2025, so you can ultimately see which entry points I have. At the moment, as I said, I'm simply in the neutral zone with Verasity. By the way, if you also want to do leverage trading, are interested in it, and are looking for a crypto exchange for that, I've linked my favorite exchange below, which has extremely low fees and good support. Info in pinned comment, expand it. Get a bonus using my link. Next point, the catalysts and dates. Let's move on to the next potential triggers. The AI video tool launch is scheduled for Q3. Tron and Binance are set for Q3 or Q4. The Ambassador program is also starting in September, which is extremely important, and then there's WebEx, from the 25th to the 26th of August in Tokyo. A Binance listing is being hotly debated, but so far, there's been no confirmation and no evidence for it either. Additionally, a buyback and burn program is planned to reduce the supply. If one of these points comes to pass, momentum for VR could be greatly increased. But let's move on to narrative and market sentiment. What's the situation there? Narrative is everything in the crypto space, and with Verasity, there are two megatrends at play, AI and video. The market loves both, and projects that bridge this gap are often hidden gems. Strong, major influencers on X keep pushing VRA, which is of course extremely positive. And yet, it's still flying under the radar. There aren't any TikTok waves or, let's say, any particularly strong waves on social media either. At the moment, this is a phase that's more for investors who are really able to get in. If you want to know whether I hold Verasity in my personal portfolio, then check out the 10x Elite, the smartest crypto community. You'll find all the information in the video description. Let's move on to the price scenarios, perhaps. So, what does all this mean in numbers? Bullish. If Binance listings come and the AI launch is also another strong move, then Verasity is clearly a watchlist candidate, especially for Q3 and Q4, with chances for momentum growth, particularly in the AI and video sector. By the way, if you want to see the complete analysis of Verasity now, I recommend you watch this video. I've analyzed Verasity, including price scenarios. It's extremely exciting. To not miss analyses, subscribe and activate the bell, as I have 2 more interesting altcoins lined up for next weekend. See you in a bit.